for some of them, even to come to Ottawa to this conference, they were very concerned about, you know, well, I've never been there, what am I going to encounter? I told them the village was going to be here from Nova Scotia, and the village is here. And that is one of the things that we emphasize, that they're not in this by themselves, and we who work with the program are not the only people who have their backs. Everybody they've met, and I'm so proud of my people, everybody they've met has been very supportive. In Nova Scotia, we don't introduce ourselves, we say, who are you, who's your people? Because we might be related, but we are all related. And through this process, we're able to find out that we have cousins and aunties and uncles who are concerned about it, who are proud to see the accomplishments that our students are able to make. Okay. So I'm just going to conclude with a quote, my brother, because the brochure has a couple of quotes from our students. And our students have said, Timothy Williams, class of 2008, once you see the world, what the world can offer you and what you can do with your education, it makes you really think about the future. I wish I'd done it sooner. Thank you.
Thank you. What you've given us is much thought, and I'm quite sure that during the question and answer period, there'll be much discussion around that.
And I'm just going to speak from the perspective of a former student who's been educated in 3 different provinces, yet experienced a lot of the same things. When I read just going to the recommendations, and I heard a lot about the safe school situation, and I'll be honest with you, what keeps coming through my mind is this safe school and all of these initiatives that are in place, they seem to be something in place to help the administration and the students, so their job becomes more efficient. But I'm not getting a sense that the student is benefiting, and from the result of what I've heard, this is what's happening. And when we talk about a safe school, I'm really concerned about the emotional safety and that these kids are in. I mean, it has to work both ways. So how safe are our schools for our kids to go in? And when there's the safe school mandate, yes, we're talking about violence and all that, but how safe are the kids? You know, there's a lot of people out there right now who are comfortable in pensions, but in our community we're holding a lot of scars. You know, because of the things that were done. We still hear examples of kids taking the apple, you know. So I'm sitting there saying, you know, again, how is it that, you know, they're having a whole lifetime of career? Are they looking back and thinking, wow, I didn't realize I was discriminatory. I didn't realize this was happening. But we're still feeling the pain of that. So how do we combat that? So one of the things I thought about was, well, let's get on equal footing. Before we can empower ourselves, before we can even educate, we have to all be on equal footing. So maybe we can implement a statement of some sort to ensure that the student feels that it's safe on an emotional level and on a level of belonging, and the parent feels safe, and that the community at large feels safe. And the same way that they can implement the safe school of zero tolerance, we need to hold them accountable on the other side. And this can be done simply. The same way that there's a report card that comes out quarterly, you know, we can issue a report card in terms of how the parent feels that they've been communicated, the information's been communicated to them about their student, about their child. The student can communicate how they felt that the material, and this speaks to all of the issues, the material has been inclusive. They can speak to they've been fairly treated. They can speak to their issues have been addressed properly. And that's fair. If we're expected to abide by these rules and laws, and we know the repercussions, you know, we've got to also ask, okay, what's safe on our end, and really hold people accountable to that. So that's just something that came to mind, and also I know in terms of, you know, how do you implement this? How, you know, there's a lot of things that go into place, but I know that every year at the beginning of school and a few times throughout, there's always a General Assembly, right? We want to talk about anti-hate, all of these things. There's no reason at the first day of school, when they have the General Assembly, that the principal can't state, this is what we deem a safe school for the student. You know, this is a zero tolerance, and that we have to address these issues in a larger forum. So yes, on a small scale, but it's got to be that vocal that this is what we will not accept. There's plenty of opportunities to share this, and the same way that they want you to sign on and commit, we can also ask that there be some, declaration in the schools of some sort where that all of the students and the parents have to sign on to the proper conduct, and in that include all of these things that include our needs. I'm not sure exactly what's already in place, but I know that could be easily implemented as just a line item to ensure that we're included. And also, I'm going to get back to, with regards to dealing with the people who are imposing these situations. In business, we fill out, a customer service form in terms of if we're happy with the service, right? In university, we fill out a evaluation for the prof, right? There's no reason we couldn't implement that in public school, and also this goes back to the data collection as well. This is great for us to monitor. One of the things that we talk about in terms of if people say, well, I'm going to use a comparison of a sex offender. When a sex offender offends, people are known what has happened, and it's public. If a student has been discriminated against by a teacher or student, it should be public, because a lot of the experiences are in shame, and we're the ones who are being victimized. And also we know amongst ourselves who are the teachers and who are the people that are doing this to us, and we have to come forth and say this the same way that there's laws and mandates to do that, and it should be on their file. You can't just have one system where you're allowed to do this and nothing. No, it has to be made public. So I'm going to close in just saying that I really encourage everybody to look at it from a proactive standpoint and include the student. And just, if I may take 30 seconds just to speak on the streaming. I also think it's important to, in these evaluations with the student, to ask the student, what are their goals? What are their visions? Even as young as 5 years old, what do you want to be? Because if this child at age 6 says they want to be a doctor, and all of a sudden, if they knew, all of a sudden, wow, this is where I started from, and every year there's a review, we can start nailing the issues as to when the problems are happening. If grade 9, all of a sudden this kid's not motivated, well, what happened when grade 7 they were happy and everything happened? We have to nip these in the bud as a proactive approach and deal with the student in order to deal with the bigger issue. Thank you.
I'd like to remind the audience that the theme is around the policy paper, so get that out as you get ready to ask your questions, and formulate policy from the discourse, please.